Hi all, I hope this email finds you healthy and safe and surrounded by your loved ones at home. I would like to use this time to ask a favor, to make a request. I want to talk a little bit about labor markets to start with. Labor markets are incredibly imperfect. The way I tend to think about labor markets, that a labor market looks like a bazaar, where the companies open their vacancies and there are the sellers, and people enter those bazaars and trying to find what is the perfect fit, to find those firms and to find the job that will make them successful and find fulfillment. Those bazaars, if you have ever been in one of those bazaars, are incredibly overwhelming, and it's just when you go through them, it's a maze. So finding what you want can become a challenge. A crisis like the one that we're having right now due to the coronavirus, what it does to the labor market is complicate and make that maze even more complex. Several reasons. Some people will lose their jobs not because they necessarily deserve to lose their jobs. It's because those jobs are going to disappear in the recession that we're engineering. It's not their fault. In order for us to stop the contagion, the good public health policy is to engineer a recession. And the lockdowns are producing this massive slowdown in the demand. So not only we have a very bad supply shock because of the virus, we have a very big demand shock as a response to that. And therefore the slowdown has been massive. In the United States, we have 5 times the record of applications for unemployment insurance. And I think the situation is going to get even worse. So that's the side of the individuals, that we will have a proliferation of individuals that will be unemployed. But furthermore, the recovery is not going to be easy. People think that this is like an engine that you just flip the switch and it starts running. The supply chain will have many disruptions, and the restart of the economy is going to be quite cumbersome. So in other words, what is happening is that in that bazaar is becoming more complex, it's becoming bigger, it's harder for people to find jobs. And therefore, a very easy way to describe it is that the labor market is going to become more hostile in general. Well, I'm asking you for your help, and not for me, truly. It's for all the MBAs that are graduating this year. They're going to join the labor market in an extremely hostile environment. Where finding those jobs that will make their life successful and fulfilling are going to be harder to find. I think that the best way to deal with this problem is to take that complexity of the labor market and just shrink it in such a way that it's easier for people to find their perfect match. So I'm asking you, if you have internships in your companies, if you have jobs in your companies, please be in communications with MIT Sloan, with the CDO, because they are the ones that are going to be able to find that match. We have web pages which actually are written down here in the video, and at the end of this video, these are the places where you can post your jobs, you can post your vacancies, and we will try to understand if we can improve the matching. By making that bazaar smaller, we will be able to help all the graduating class. These are extremely talented, bright individuals with tremendous amount of romanticism because they want to solve some of the most difficult problems that exist in the world. Exactly like you guys were, 10, 20 years ago when you were actually graduating. I want you to understand how difficult is their situation. I hope that everyone here remembers your last 2 months of the MBA. I'm pretty sure you don't remember a single content of the classes. You probably remember all the hugs, the laughter, the tears that happened during that moment, when you knew that something that was so transformational, like the MBA that we have at Sloan, was coming to an end. They are missing that. It's going to be hard to replicate that in any form. So your help will be tremendously valuable if you can somehow offer them the ability to find a job that is going to be so hard to find. MIT Sloan and the alumni from MIT Sloan has never actually ever in my 23 years here in the institutes have ever disappointed me. Never. And I know that you're going to rise to this challenge again. We need your help, and these MBA students will need your help. I hope our paths cross again, and as always, I will give hugs to everybody, and I hope that I can do that in a safe manner. Thank you so much. Stay healthy, and I'll see you on the other side of this massive crisis. Thank you so much.